Hi, and welcome to the Changing Perspectives podcast, the show where we discuss a variety of topics including grief, parenting, health and wellness, and relationships. Join us and explore a number of changing perspectives. We're your hosts, Jenni and Josh Brennan. Hey, Jenni.
Hi.
What's happening?
Not much.
So, do you know what this is?
Episode 10.
Double digits.
Double digits.
Double-digit episodes.
Whoa.
And to think, like half a second ago, we weren't even podcasters.
We weren't. And then you very strategically brought it up in a room with people that you were trying to get me to do a podcast, and you knew what their response would be, which was, you're stupid if you don't do a podcast. You're doing a podcast. And here we are, episode 10.
Well, pretty much it was very strategic, and it was the two people I think who are the biggest podcast fans I know besides me.
True.
So I knew what I was doing.
You were. And
Right.
they're two of our very favorite people. So
yes,
I appreciate their
Besties.
push. So yes, it's episode 10,
Jenni
and we are
Josh
not
besties.
They are. We are not talking about death or grief today or relationships. We're actually leaning into that parenting piece that you talk about.
Have we done a parenting?
We have not officially done a parenting.
Solely parenting.
Right. No, but we've talked about obviously parenting stuff.
Right.
But Josh is sort of very early on. We are very early on still, but very early on in our sort of brainstorming sessions about what are some topics we can talk about. This article that I wrote about raising aliens was one that Josh really liked, and he wanted to be able to explore it in a podcast setting. And so here we are. Here we are doing that. I don't know if I don't know how it's gonna translate to podcasting, but we're gonna do it.
If you're a parent, you have aliens.
Yes. And I think we're specifically talking today about those aliens that are pre-teens and teenagers, because they really are a whole other species.
So this is definitely going to be a lighter episode.
Yeah, but
hopefully funny, but relatable.
But also, it's about changing your perspectives, right? It's about kind of finding a way to look at it differently. And listen, we are not experts in this. We are not perfect. We mess up as parents daily. Yep. And we struggle with parenting daily. And so this episode is just us sort of sharing in that, and maybe sharing a little bit of tips and a little bit of kind of suggestions on how you can look at things a little bit differently, but also us saying like, look, we get it. It's hard. And some days you mess up, but most days it probably feels like you are living with alien creatures.
Yes.
So, so we're going to kind of look at that first, sort of why it feels like we're living with aliens, what it is that they do, and then what are some different ways to kind of approach it.
Right.
Is that kind of what you had in mind?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So here's one of the telltale signs that you are living with aliens. And I will say that both of our alien creatures are boys.
Yes.
So it's likely we do not have the pleasure of living with teenage, preteen alien girls. I think that's a whole other stuff there. So
it's stressful raising boys, but I feel like it's like a horror movie raising girls.
Yeah, I wonder what parents of teen girls would say. They might say it's opposite, but I don't know. Okay, but let's get into the boys. Yes. I think the first way you know that you are raising aliens, you're living with aliens, is around the topic of pants. Yeah. Because for some reason, most of these aliens don't like them, don't want to wear them.
I don't know what
even if it's 50 degrees below zero, they don't want to wear pants. Mm-hmm. And listen, I gave up that battle a long time ago. So if you're someone that doesn't have teenage boy aliens living with you, and you in the middle of January when it's 20 degrees below zero, you see a family out at your local Target and the boys are all wearing shorts and you're thinking, what is wrong with those parents? I am those parents. Yep. We just stopped fighting about it. We picked our battles. And I believe in natural consequences. So if you want to walk around and freeze your legs off, then you're going to figure out really quickly that it's uncomfortable. So that might be one way you know you're living with aliens is that they stop wearing pants.
But Mom, no one else wears pants.
Right. Exactly. Second way, and these are, again, aliens of the boy nature, toilets. They seem to not know how to use toilets.
Well, I feel like we failed them a little bit. I don't know that they know that you can flush a toilet.
They seem to not. Yes.
I mean, I think I've asked the older one that. Do you know that this button on the side actually makes the stuff go down?
Yeah.
I don't think they know that.
I know we definitely. And also didn't help them with aiming or something. I'm not quite sure. But so I think that this did not seem to happen so much when they were younger. So I think they became aliens as they reached adolescence, perhaps pre-adolescence.
So I wrote a note on my notes for this episode that we've always had aliens. They were just little aliens.
True. That's true.
Right. Mm-hmm. So their traits, their alien characteristics changed.
Right.
From when they were little to now. So maybe their bathroom tendencies devolved. Although I would say it's pretty alien to stand on your toddler bed and pee on your pillow. We
won't reveal which child that was, but that was my fault because I was one of the moms that said, there's no way my 3-year-old is going to not be potty trained. Yeah. And so I was pushing this particular child to become potty trained, and he just wasn't ready. And you know what? Kids, that's one thing that they can still control. So he was like, I'm not peeing in the toilet, and literally went in and stood on his toddler bed and peed on his pillow. So he sent a very clear message that like, you can't control this.
Nope.
So you're right to your point about they've always been aliens right there. And so they're like from a different world. And that's sort of the point here is that they're from a different world. And maybe it's hard for us to kind of understand them and sort of see them in a light that makes sense. So I don't want to talk about toilets anymore.
You're done?
I'm done. I don't like talking about bathroom stuff.
You don't like that stuff.
No, can we move on to... Okay.
Well, but yes, they're still aliens when it comes to toilets, but they've evolved a little bit. Actual toilets are better than pillows.
Oh, that's a good point. That's a good perspective shift there.
Silver lining.
You shifted the perspective.
Yes, I did.
All right. Also, shoes. These aliens have a really hard time finding shoes. So whenever you're going to leave the house with your alien, it's inevitable that they're not going to know where their shoes are. I mean, you could try to tell them when they come home to put their shoes in one place so they always know where they are. But it seems like there's a communication breakdown there somewhere.
I feel like so when I come home from work, the boys get home before me. They're home for a few minutes before I do. Before I get home, and I always find a pair of shoes at the door in the way. I trip over them. Sometimes a dog will take one and start munching on it. So I try to put them away. So I put them where I think they go, but then I must put them in like the alien black hole because I never find them.
Yeah, they can't see them.
Yeah. So
if you can relate to this, you probably also are living with aliens. So they don't like to wear pants. Toilets are a challenge for them. And shoes just can never...
They disappear.
Yeah, they disappear. Also, coats, same as pants. You know, they reach a point where they don't need coats anymore, even if it's 50 degrees below zero. They're just not going to wear coats. They're not going to own coats. It's another way you know that you're living with aliens there. Also, scents. Smells, they seem to not always be able to smell themselves. They don't have a good sense of personal smell. So they really need you to be their nose. They don't want you to be their nose. They're not going to be happy about it.
They really do stink.
They're terribly stinky creatures who don't admit that they are stinky creatures. So it's a little bit of a challenge.
Well, I think one of our aliens has no fewer than, 10 sticks of deodorant. in his room that I'm not sure he ever actually uses.
Well, they require a lot of reminding about the benefits of that. Apparently, in their alien world, they can't smell themselves.
So I wanted to sort of take a step back, look at the big picture of what these aliens wear now from head to toe. They've got shoes, maybe, shorts with long socks.
Oh, yes. That is the way they kind of stay warm. Now I call them tights. They yell at me if I refer to them as tights. But like leggings pants, under there, Jenni. They are compression pants. Or tights. Under their shorts.
But what's funny
we're not going to wear pants.
Well, what's funny is, though, they've leaned into that and they refer to them as tights. Have you seen my black tights?
That's true.
Right?
That's true.
So they've got these long socks or tights, shorts, and sweatshirts instead of coats.
Yes.
And that's winter wear.
That's true.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, if I'm being honest, I don't really wear a coat to work either.
No, you don't wear a coat.
I don't.
Do you?
And when
you
I'm
have
leaving,
a coat, though.
I do. Yeah.
I like coats.
My evening patients who are there when I'm leaving are like, "What? You don't have a coat?
Put a coat on."
Sorry. I guess I'm kind of alien in nature as well. Balls. So also, you got to be really careful with balls when you have aliens.
Yes.
And I'm talking about things
what kind of balls?
Like I was going to say golf balls. Don't have golf balls in your house. If you have aliens, we don't have golf balls.
You made a golf reference a couple
I know.
episodes
I think about
ago
golf
too.
a lot.
Do you want to go golfing?
I think I want to be a golfer. Remember that MTV show Made?
Yes.
Yes.
I love
well,
Made. We're dating ourselves.
I always wanted to be a DJ. You know that about me. Like I wanted to mix. I wanted to spin. But I think maybe also I want to be made into a golfer.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you know anything about golf?
You get to ride around in a golf cart.
That's not
and hit
all
balls.
Of it.
That's all I know. And then if you golf in Florida, you got to watch out for the gators.
Yeah, there's all kinds of Facebook videos about gigantic alligators on golf courses.
That's all I know.
Right.
Anyways, we're getting sidetracked.
It's okay to get sidetracked.
So we don't have...
When it's funny.
We don't have golf balls in our house. Thank goodness.
We might someday if Jenni gets her golf cart wishes.
if MTV Made comes back around. And all right.
What did I want to be for Made?
Oh, I don't remember. I'm surprised I remember well, it really is a dream of mine to
be a DJ.
Spin. I want to be DJ James Kennedy. It's not about the past.
It's not about the past.
All right, we're making very specific references here.
I know. Well, if you're a Vanderpump Rules fan, there you go. I will think about my Made.
Okay.
Thing.
And you'll get back to us.
I'll get back to you.
So let's get back to balls. Not golf balls, but it's very dangerous to have balls of any kind in your house when you live with aliens because they cannot help but touch them. Oh, this really does apply in so many ways, but they cannot resist touching them and throwing them, bouncing them off the wall and breaking things like chandeliers, doors, vases, what else?
Like it's
windows.
They can't avoid it at all.
They just can't stop.
Right.
They're really hard pressed to stop. So you've got to be careful if you live with aliens and you allow balls in the house.
I've been to the glass lampshade / chandelier aisle at Lowe's one too many times.
Yeah, those things just break. Always accidentally.
Wasn't there a mirror issue too? There was, I think.
Well, I broke a mirror.
No, I think there was a ball mirror issue.
Probably.
Yeah.
I don't see how there couldn't be. They've broken everything.
Right.
Because they just can't help themselves. Like there's a ball, so they have to throw it. They have to bounce it off the wall. They have to roll it across the floor. They have to throw it to their brother who's standing across the room.
Or throw it at their brother.
Yeah. So this is so if this sounds familiar to you, you probably are also living with an alien.
Yes.
And then bottles, like water bottles, Gatorade bottles, any kind of bottles. They're never going to finish them.
Nope.
So you're going to have a bunch of half-finished bottles all around your house.
Yes.
And you can be really great. And I think we've done a much better job with this. We use, not plastic bottles. We sort of use refillable water bottles.
Yes.
Still, like those things, they're not ever going to be empty, and they're never going to make it back to the sink. I found the gray water bottle that I've been missing, found it yesterday in someone's bat bag from the summer.
Okay. So, really?
Mm-hmm. No, he must have been using that until
one?
He got his new bat bags. Yeah.
Hmm.
So it's at least from October.
So that's funny. What I was going to say was, not only will you find them around your house, you'll find them in your car.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was just in my car earlier getting the stuff I bought out of the back and noticed there was like 6 water bottles amongst all the other sporting equipment.
Yes, I think it's very commonplace to hear in your house when you're living with aliens. Where have all of the water bottles gone?
I don't know.
Yeah, like we have 5 sports games today. You need water bottles. Where are they all?
Okay. Can I just get on my soapbox for a second about that as a sports parent?
I didn't know you had a soapbox about water bottles.
I do.
Huh.
Well, about water. So
water.
For the little Jacob, I don't know why we keep saying the younger one or the older one.
Because I don't think we should be saying their names. I'm trying to protect their anonymity.
He's our associate producer who does the tagline on every episode.
True, but he doesn't say his name.
Okay. Anyway. So I said to him yesterday for his lacrosse game, do you have a bottle of water? I don't need one. That was the response. I looked at him, I said, do you think that coaches and parents like hearing that you don't like water? How hard is it to just grab water? Well, I don't need one. I'm just going to play goalie. I don't need one. And I said, well, I think you need to get a bottle of water. So we got a bottle of water. I had one for him. And after the first quarter, of course, he comes up to me and says, do you have that bottle of water?
Oh, yes. I mean, this is another sign that you live with aliens. Yeah. Or that you're going to go to a basketball game and you know that they're going to drink their entire bottle of water and need a second one because they're going to turn around in the middle of your basketball game. Their basketball game. Motion to any parent who's just finished basketball season out there knows when their kid looks at you across the court and like shakes their bottle at you that they've run out of water. And so then when you try the next game to prepare them with 2 bottles of water, you get met with I only need one. They're not just like they're not aware of what they smell like. They're also not really aware of the value of hydration. So these aliens think they know everything, but actually don't really know a whole lot and still need us to help sort of guide them through this place called Earth, right? Because we're the Earthlings. Right. We all have to remember that at some point we all were aliens too. Yes. And we were very foreign to this place called Earth, but we now are the Earthlings and we've got to teach them. So the final sort of sign that you are living with aliens, and you all probably have lots of other signs here. You can please share that on our Instagram, on our Facebook, because it'll make us laugh. Like what else happens? And we'll share them. Yeah. What else happens that makes you know you're living with aliens? Like what makes you stop in your tracks and go, oh, my goodness, did this just aliens? Aliens live here. We can do a quick alien follow-up. So send us your signs that you are living with aliens for sure. Final one is decision making. Their ability to make sound, safe, logical decisions decreases exponentially with each additional alien. Yes. So one alien, they need your help. Their decisions might not be logical. 2 aliens, well, it's getting a little rough. If you've got like 4 or 5 of these aliens together at the same time, you better be prepared to go through the whole long list of like, listen, you can't be on the roof. You can't. These are all real things we have had. These are real conversations. Please get down off the dugout. No, these are things I'm saying in advance. Well, then after something like that happens, then the next time a group is together, listen, aliens, here's what you can't do. You can't jump the fence into the neighbor's yard. You cannot play manhunt at 9 p.m. in the neighbor's bushes that we don't know. You cannot hide in a dumpster. You cannot play on the roof. You cannot, what else could you possibly potentially think about getting into that might be a good decision in the moment? So if you find yourself having those conversations where you're looking at them thinking, oh my goodness, I don't want any more of them here because what are they going to do? Then you're probably living with aliens. These are aliens that you're living with.
So I don't know if Mogwai are aliens. I think they are.
What?
I'm not really sure. Gremlins.
Oh.
I know you've never seen Gremlins.
I've seen Gremlins.
So you know what Mogwai. Gizmo's a Mogwai.
You can't get them wet, or
so listen.
They turn into a pumpkin after midnight or something.
Teenagers are Mogwai. Keep them separated.
Oh.
Okay. Don't feed them after midnight. Don't get
True.
water on them. Because it's going to be a disaster.
I think you probably should get water on them.
That's true.
Make them smell
Give
better.
Give them showers.
All right. So what do you do? So
give up.
That sometimes is your inclination, right?
Yes.
This is where the changing perspectives piece comes in, because it can be exhausting to live with aliens, and it can make you feel frustrated and confused and like you're useless, right?
And you shouldn't battle the aliens because that's not going to
Because we're not Will Smith.
It's not going to. Yeah, good.
Right?
Nice.
I knew that was going to impress you.
You impressed me with your movie poll. What movie though?
Independence Day.
Yes.
Look at me.
Welcome to Earth. That's a great film.
Yeah, we're not Will Smith, so don't fight the aliens. So what you can do, so what are the best ways to approach this sort of difficult task when you realize you're actually raising aliens is don't try to see the world through their eyes. You were once an alien yourself, but you don't really remember it. And truthfully, you were an alien at a different time on Earth. Life was different then.
Can I just talk about that for a second? And we talk a lot about this with our oldest, especially when we are able to see his grades and report card like on a daily basis with technology. Parenting in the digital age is crazy compared to what we dealt with. Mm-hmm. My parents saw my report card 3 times a year if I brought it home. If you
didn't just forge their signature.
Right.
I mean, I didn't because I always had A's.
You didn't. I did good too. I was whatever. But
were you valedictorian?
Okay. No. I was close. I was 6, right? I think. Whatever. Mm-hmm. We're both smart. But we see.
No, I was just really good at taking tests. I'm not smart. But you're right. Like back, it was a different world back then. Right. And now literally as soon as a teacher puts a grade in the system, we get a notification on our phone.
And I feel bad about, being hard on him or asking him, hey, why'd you get a 70 on that? Or what's up with that? I mean, it's good to talk about it and to come up with strategies and how to help him and meet his best potential. And we talk about that continuously with him, but I still feel bad that we get this grade immediately.
Well, and also with social media, and as much as I feel like you as parents need to be monitoring any social media presence, we didn't have parents we always used to pass notes, right? We would I get to see if I can fold up a note into a snazzy little triangle. That's
I could never fold.
That's passable in the hallway. You would you would write up these notes.
Did I fold mine to you?
I don't remember.
Because I don't remember being able to fold them.
You probably had a friend fold yours.
I think I did.
Thinking back to high school, Josh. Yeah. But we would fold up notes into these tiny little triangles, and it wasn't just like boyfriend girlfriend stuff, or girlfriend. It was friends. You would pass notes. You would pass notes all day long. Well, and we wouldn't.
Not guys.
Oh, well, that's
guys
true.
Really
how did you guys communicate? You guys would just
grunt.
Okay.
We grunt and hit each other.
You'd throw things at each other, right?
Yes.
But we wouldn't then go home and our parents would be able to find every single note that we sent to each other that day, right? And
no way.
And now we can see
everything.
Well, not really. We know we can't. But still the point here is it's a different world. So if you try to sort of see the world through their eyes, you're going to hurt yourself because you have no frame of reference. You were never that same exact age living in this same exact world. Exactly. It's different.
Just so our parents weren't our age in the 80s and 90s.
Right. So you've got to just understand that you're not always going to understand them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And that leads into the second tip here, which
real
is
quick. Let me interrupt you for a second.
sure, because that's what you do all the time. Go ahead.
But I have a very profound thing
sure.
I'm about to say. Well, maybe we'll see. I'll let you be the judge of that.
Mm-hmm.
They don't care what we dealt with. Right.
Well, and they shouldn't. So when we're thinking about, when I'm getting real here and thinking about them not as aliens, but talking about adolescence as a period of development is all about not caring what other people, like you're figuring out who you are. And so you're supposed to pull away from your parents, and you're supposed to question authority, and you're supposed to kind of find where that line is for you. And so you also are very egocentric.
Yes.
Hopefully by the end of adolescence, you're not. You've sort of moved through that and resolved that successfully. But, when you're kind of middle adolescence, it's really normal for you to not be, for you to be self-centered and to not understand other people's perspectives. And so it's wrong of us to get mad at them for that. Like they're just being developmentally appropriate, which is challenging for parents. Listen, I'm not saying it's okay and that's how they should stay. No, we should be helping them move through this stage. Right. But we've also got to have an honest expectation that adolescence is messy. It's a crisis. It's a period where they're going to have lots of mistakes. They're going to fail a lot. They're going to flounder a lot, and we can't do it for them.
Well, I think it's okay to share what your experiences were at their age, but not compare. And not say, listen, you shouldn't be stressed out about this because I dealt with this when I was your age and it was worse.
Right. Yeah. So
I told you it was profound.
I don't know if I would say it was profound, but it was helpful.
Okay.
It's profound. Thank you.
Tip 2.
Pick your battles, but as you do when we have these lists, you jump ahead.
I do. What?
You do. You said don't fight them.
Oh.
And then I made the Will Smith callback and you were all impressed with me.
Oh.
Right. Pick your battles. Sorry. But that goes to what you said, don't fight them. I think sometimes you do. You have to fight them, right?
Well,
sometimes you do have to you have to sort of channel your inner Will Smith and fight the aliens and battle them. But you can't battle them on everything because you'll just be constantly battling. You'll be exhausted and it won't help your relationship.
Like the shorts and socks.
Right. So pick your battles. What are those things that are really meaningful to you as parents, to you as families, that are worth battling? And then sort of how do you approach those battles? That's kind of the tip there.
Well, I think that if you continually give reasons behind things, it just helps them understand. They have mutual understanding. Right?
Right.
It's so easy to say because I said so.
And it feels so good to
say.
It
does feel so good, right?
Because it doesn't take a lot of brain power.
I got my parent card. I'm a dad.
I'm an earthling now.
Yes.
Conform.
I work for a living.
Right.
The lights are on because I pay for them and I said so.
Right.
But that's not good parenting.
I don't want to say it's not good parenting.
Well,
it's not the best way to approach it sometimes.
Yes.
There are better ways to approach it, but sometimes we all fall into that and find ourselves saying, because I said so, don't ask me again.
Yeah.
I do like the asked and answered kind of comeback to kids when you've asked and answered it. So this next one, tip number 3, is this the one that you updated? I know you went through and read the article and said...
Well, it's saved on mine as 2, so that's why I thought this was number 2. Oh, I'm sorry.
I wonder what happened there.
No, I just...
You didn't know how to count.
It's my bad.
Because you were number 6 and not number 1.
Oh, all righty.
Learn to speak their language. So clearly, when I wrote this article...
I updated it.
It was a couple years ago because I said, this may mean that you need to learn how to flip bottles, dab, juju on that beat, whip, and even nay-nay.
Good
and
songs.
All of those things, those are like 3 or 4 years old now. Yeah. There was a period where it was a craze to flip water bottles.
Well, I think that's kind of still a thing. It's not as big, but I saw one of them the other day flipping a bottle.
Yeah, but I remember there was a party we went to and all the alien boys did the entire time.
We failed and let them be together.
Oh, yeah. There we go. But none of them were on the roof.
They were flipping bottles.
They were flipping bottles onto the roof, but none of them were on the roof. But my point here is learn to speak their language. So, so tonight I was TikToking with one of our children.
Yes.
I don't know that you've learned that language yet, Josh.
Not really. But that used to be something else. We'll talk about that when we get to it.
Oh, okay.
You may need to learn how to floss.
Right. I can't. I tried.
I can't either.
I tried, though, but that's learning to speak their language. Right. Oh, I can do a lot of the Fortnite dances, though. That's
next. I said learn a Fortnite dance.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Well, I think the one that you see all the time is, if the kids listen to this, they're going to laugh their butts off, but I think it's the hype.
Is that a Fortnite dance?
Yeah.
Oh, so I can do them. I don't know what they're
You just don't know what they're called. Oh,
nope.
Okay.
Nope.
Can you do it right now?
I don't know
Let's
which one
Facebook
that
Live
is.
right now.
No.
And do it.
Not going to happen.
So
learn
Fortnite's huge. If you speak Fortnite, you can speak to aliens.
So that is their language, right? That's a great example of speaking their language.
Battle Pack. I know that's a thing.
Right. And understanding.
I know it costs me money.
This is where we fail as parents.
Yes.
And understanding that, like, the noise that a new round battle makes, like, oh, they've started and they can't pause it.
That's the soundtrack of our lives.
It is a soundtrack. But
Fortnite.
For now, but a few years ago, it was bottles flipping. I think I'll take Fortnite over bottles flipping, actually.
And the other thing, if you know what a streak is on Snapchat, then you can speak alien. I actually don't know still what that is, but I know it's a thing.
I do. So I think maybe I'm more fluent in alien.
You might be.
Than you are. I think I've been more willing to kind of lean into it and learn their language. But that takes work, right? Because we're talking about how we all were aliens at some point, but now we are earthlings. We're saying you have to go kind of back and kind of learn a new language on Earth. And it takes work. It means finding out what those crazy kids do nowadays. Right. And it makes you feel really old. And it means Googling some things. And it means talking to your friends. And it means ultimately talking to your kids and saying, what is...
Okay, do you have a snoring dog next to you? I have a
snoring dog next to me.
I looked around and I was like, did I leave something on? It's something. There's a bass noise being picked up somewhere. I don't know what's going on. Looking at the levels on the software, and it's a snoring dog.
This particular dog does better when he's in the room with us and doesn't feel left out. But apparently, he's very. The studio is very chill right now. The fireplace is on.
It's so
the essential oil is being diffused.
Yep. We have low lighting.
It's lovely in here, and I guess for this
you got
dog,
a fleece blanket on.
it's really quite comfy. Chill, and so he's feeling
the vibe.
Or we're boring.
And he's an alien too, I think.
That's
if any of the
different kind of alien
are like our boy aliens, it's that one.
Yeah. Well, okay.
You reminded me. Oh, I have a story. So I tried to learn their language, and I'm a gamer. I like playing video games, even though they both can kick my butt in all the video games now. But I think that connecting with them at that level. Learning the language, but also connecting with them, I think is fun. They enjoy that kind of stuff. But I'll never forget when they first started playing Fortnite. I quickly looked at the screen. I wasn't quite paying attention, and I thought I saw an extra letter in the title Fortnite, and I thought it was FORTI night, so 40 night. And I don't know. That's what it was. So I said, "Are you guys playing that as 40 night?" They were rolling around the floor, laughing their butts off. They thought it was the funniest thing that I thought it was 40 night, and they still make fun of me for it.
Oh,
so that's like a year and a half later.
So you tried.
I tried. You're playing that. What am I? 105? You're playing that 40 night.
But that's what it feels like, and that's the point here is that it feels like you're 100 years old.
Really does.
You're like that stereotypical 100-year-old individual being like the music kids listen to now.
Right.
That's also kind of what we're saying, like listen to the music they're listening to now. And I was actually thinking today while I was on the gym, and I realized that on my playlist, I've got some music that quite a bit of music actually that I've gotten from our kids, where initially I've been, because it's really good to work out to actually.
Okay.
But the first time I would have heard those songs, I would have been like, oh, this is awful. But because I kind of leaned into it and wanted to listen to what they were listening to, and then that makes them want to share more, right? Now I appreciate it. So try to learn to speak their language, and then you might actually start to appreciate their language. Yeah. Next is utilize their communication systems.
Yeah.
So you were kind of alluding to things like Spotify before. I think as a family, we've really leaned into texting. And so, sometimes we've had sometimes our kids are more willing to have a little bit of a challenging conversation over text.
Especially the bigger ones.
Yeah. Especially around like emotional stuff. It's easier to kind of approach that sometimes through their communication system, which is text or emojis or GIFs. Here we are again. I don't know if it's GIFs or GIFs.
I should have looked it up.
I think it's GIFs because isn't it like graphic interface or something?
I think it is.
I'm going to go with GIFs.
GIFs it is.
So speaking with GIFs or, communicating through apps that they use, things like that, we're using their communication system. So we're not being so Earth-like. Mm-hmm. We're being more alien-like. And the message that sends is, you're not bad. It's not wrong that you're different than us. We could learn some things from you, right?
Well, I think they lean into the digital age. And like I said before, I think just use it. I mean, I leave for work. I leave for work really early, and everybody has lots of different schedules, and everybody's all over the place. And I don't see the boys in the morning before they go to school. And so when I am at work and I know that they're leaving for the day, I'll send them a text and say, have a great day. Or I'll say something like this morning to one of them, starting a new sport. I said, good luck or whatever. And he said, thank you. And I think that's learning their language, understanding that that's the best way to connect with them in this crazy, busy schedule environment.
I was going to say something about that and I forgot what it was. Oh, FaceTiming.
Oh, yeah.
Using like video communication, like here, ready, Josh? Mm-hmm. Here's another movie reference. Remember in Back to the Future? Do you remember like the first time you watched Back to the Future and you saw Marty's family like in the future using a television to communicate with and thinking like, oh my God, they live in like the future. That's never going to happen. But the future's here and that's how we communicate. But these aliens don't hold the camera up and look at you in the eye. You have to be comfortable having phone video calls with them where you see up their nose or you see the ceiling fan. Right. That's just how they use their communication systems. And it's not worth trying to correct it.
No.
Listen, there's room there for education because my hope is that they don't enter the workforce having conference calls like that.
Right.
But we'll get there. Right now, when they're 10 and 13, it's still developmentally appropriate. We can encourage them to go to the next level, but I don't know how helpful it is to admonish them for it. So sometimes it means just communicating with them that way.
It is crazy how advanced technology is. It's insane listening to them talk to Siri. That is like Back to the Future. I talk about that all the time. When
you say fruit, please.
Fruit, please. When Marty McFly Jr. is trying to get the fruit and the fruit bowl won't listen to him in the futuristic kitchen. And I love thinking about that when the boys get mad at Siri or Alexa. Can't say it too loud or she'll hear us. When they get mad at those technologies for not hearing them, it's just like the movie. It's insane.
I fight with those two ladies on a daily basis.
You do. You have a love-hate relationship with them.
Well, and I confuse them, right? So wasn't it last night that I was shouting across the room
to one of them
at the one whose name starts with A, but I used the name of the one whose name starts with an S. It was very
Everybody was confused. Personality disorder, craziness. But becoming proficient in things like Instagram, Snapchat, those communication systems, that's what you're referring to. You talked about TikTok.
TikTok, which I think has replaced Musical.ly.
Musical.ly, right. Okay.
Yeah.
When you talk about monitoring their interactions on those platforms, I feel like that's a whole other episode.
It's probably
but
2-part series there. Yeah, lots to go in there.
Okay.
There. This is supposed to be kind of a lighter episode.
Fun.
The next two are just kind of practical tips here that kind of go together. So stockpile deodorant.
We talked about that.
For obvious reasons, but like, you know, have a lot of it, you know, in their rooms, in the car, in all of the sports bags, in maybe a drawer in the kitchen, just in case you're like, you maybe should try this and it's too far to walk down the hall to their room. Just literally stockpile it. You know, like that other movie, I don't know what's going on with me. That movie with the aliens and the water. Signs, right.
M. Night Shyamalan.
Like I'm going to ruin it for you. It's a spoiler alert, but it's like a 15-year-old movie, so you should see it by now. But the water is like the aliens' kryptonite, right? Like it's their weakness. And that girl was very smart. She just didn't know it. She had water all around the house, just stockpiled for the aliens.
It's one of the
deodorant is the water.
For that
movie. We totally ruined that movie, but really you should know it by now. And also invest in a good washing machine. Like if you have aliens or you're about to have aliens of this age, I don't know, and they're boy aliens, I don't know that I
think the girls you should have too.
I don't know. I don't think so. I think that they're aware of their smelling.
Yeah.
I think the girl versions probably can smell themselves better. They're more in tune and care about it more. There's a poll question there. I don't know that a laundromat's going to be enough for you.
Right.
You probably don't need a dryer, but you probably should save your pennies now to get an in-unit washing machine because you're going to need it.
Well, along with invest in a good washing machine is invest in good detergent.
Yeah, that's true.
Just buy the good stuff because you're going to need it, especially when it's a very active and busy sports season, particularly in the summer, right? Or a fall with football. Oh, stinky football.
Or hockey. Those of you that have hockey alien players, we never introduced ours to that because I don't like cold places and nor do I like getting up early. So I didn't introduce that. And so that kind of brings us to our final tip here, which actually might make me cry. It's just basically hold on tight because for as many challenges as there are with this period of time, it's just a period of time and it goes by so fast. You know, for those of you that are living with and raising aliens right now of this age, at one point, and it probably seems like yesterday, they were infants, they were newborns, they were toddlers, they were preschoolers, they were getting on the bus for their first day of kindergarten. You know, they were transitioning into like 3rd grade and maybe getting a little more independence. And so before you know it, they're going to be going off to prom and driving and graduating high school and becoming more and more like earthlings. And so this time is very fleeting. So hold on tight to it and remember to not get caught up in the small stuff. And to look for those sort of fleeting moments like today. I was in the kitchen. It was the sort of post-school transition, like where they're like, feed me. And they want to eat 7 boxes of cereal and you're containing and trying to
there's an alien tip. Invest in cereal.
Cereal, for real.
Yeah. Buy stock in General Mills.
Yeah. It's, you know, sort of that transition, trying to kind of ask open-ended questions about the school day and get some information. And as one of them was leaving the kitchen with something, I heard and I said, what?
Can you please translate that alien speak for
what?
me?
He said, I love you. And I was like, oh, that's so nice. I love you too. But you know, it's one of those, those moments happen, you know, where there's, and they catch you off guard and you're not expecting them. And they might just be little moments. And it was, I love you. I'm going to my room. And then he left. And I don't know that I've actually seen him since. I saw him for dinner.
We ate dinner together.
But hold on to those moments, because there are beautiful moments like that. Or there's like yesterday after a pretty important sporting game, you and one of them like exchanged this really sweet, tender like hug.
Really?
Those moments don't happen all the time, but they happen. So lean into this time too, for as full as it is with challenges and frustrations, and as much as you might feel like you're not equipped to be raising an alien, it really can be a beautiful time too.
Now you're going to make me cry. I thought this was supposed to be a lighter episode.
I think it's tender.
It is tender. I mean, that's what I did write. The first note I wrote in preparation for this chat was... Oh,
not what you did correctly. It's what you did right. WRITE.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Sorry. What does it go by? It goes by so fast.
So fast.
You just blink and suddenly they're gigantic and totally smelly aliens.
Yeah. No. I remember you weren't there, but I remember distinctly sitting at middle school orientation and them talking about, how it's 3 years and then they're in high school, and we're more than halfway through that now.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking 3 years is a long time. But so much happens during 3 years, but we're already more than halfway through that. And it really has felt like just yesterday.
I'm going to lean into it, Jenni.
Are you going to cry
no.
on the podcast?
No, I'm going to share a little bit.
I can make you cry. I'm a social worker.
Stop it. Don't pull out that superpower. I'm going to talk for just a second about that hug yesterday you talked about, because it goes by so fast, and you really need to relish those moments. And our oldest has been a baseball player since he was six. He started in instructional ball when he was 6 years old, and we had just moved to our town, and we had one of our neighbors who was very into the sport and coaching, very great coach, great guy, volunteer, got our son on his team and said, "Do you want to help?" To me, never played baseball, never coached baseball, but I love helping, love coaching, coached him in soccer when he was 5. So I said, sure. Anyway, fast forward 6 years. He was never on a baseball team.
7 years.
7?
Almost.
Oh, jeez. He was never on a baseball team that I didn't coach until yesterday. And so it was amazing to be able to have shared that with him, to have that time that I'll never forget. So such amazing, sweet memories. And we'll talk more about coaching and sports parenting later, but it does go by so fast. And that moment yesterday, he understood, and we shared it, and we shared a hug, and we've been talking since then about how different it is and how tough it is for me not to be coaching him anymore in this sport that we both love so much. And he feels the same way. He said that he missed having me coach him. So it was a tough, very bittersweet. It was fun to see him playing at a different level now, but weird that I wasn't there.
Well, and weird that you were sitting next to me watching the game.
We've never been in the stands before.
You were sitting there with like your arms crossed, and you were trying not to cry, and you were like,
I know you
were
a couple times.
I wasn't going to out you on that.
I wiped tears. I don't care. I'm a crier.
Yeah,
That's fine.
It was very emotional.
Hard. I'm a feeler.
But thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
Because it was a really real moment, and I think it was actually beautiful that you were vulnerable with him, and you shared with him ultimately, I think, why you were a little grumpy yesterday morning, because it was really about like your sadness and kind of, bittersweet. Like, it's so great that he's on this team and he's at this level now where it's not parent coaches, right? Diamond. He's playing baseball on like the big boy field, which where the distance from home plate to first base feels like it's 7 miles long, but because it is. But it's also sad, and you shared that with him, and I think that was really huge.
And I wasn't expecting
for both of you
such a powerful reaction to it. leading up to it, I was thinking about it, but I wasn't expecting such a powerful reaction. And we had taken, not to get too in the weeds here with details, but we had taken 2 cars because we were back and forth. I'm going to do it anyway.
Hold on.
We were back and forth with lacrosse and baseball and blah, blah, blah. But
do you want to talk about what we had for breakfast
sure,
too?
Why not? It was good. We had some good breakfast. So we had taken 2 cars. So the first time I had seen him was back home.
Right.
He walked in the house.
That's true.
And I came up to him to say, "Great game," and I was going to give him like the manly dad son fist bump and handshake, and then it turned into a hug that he just leaned into. He just hugged me back for the first time in a long time.
What was interesting is that our other alien recognized that moment and took a really beautiful picture of it. Like got his little phone out and took a picture of it and like recognized that as well. And so I applaud you for really leaning into that and being open and vulnerable with it. Cause you could have been like, what? It's really hard for me that I'm not coaching you. Right. But you weren't. I mean, you were initially, but then you let your real emotions be shown.
Right.
And he handled it. Like you spoke his language in a way.
Yeah.
And so that was really beautiful. And I think in a way, probably he was feeling that too, because just as adolescence is hard for us as parents to sort of, parent these alien children, if not that we're comparing, but if you do think back to your adolescence, I think for most people, it really stunk. Like it's just not, it's not a period of time that I would ever want to go back to for all the money in the world. It's hard. Like your body is changing. The school responsibilities are amping up. Your friend group is changing.
Right.
And kids are not nice. You know, like they're actually quite mean.
Yeah.
Because they're little aliens and they're trying to figure it all out.
They're all trying to figure out where they and how they belong.
Yeah, it's just hard to, and you don't have independence, but you want independence. So it's a rough period. And so the point of all of this today is just to say, you're not alone. This is a rough time of life. A little attempt at a little bit of humor here to kind of, poke fun at what it's like to sort of be living with these alien children, but also just to encourage folks to pause and really take a moment to reframe your thinking. And tonight, if you're listening to this like on your way home or you're listening to it on your way to work, to really kind of, before you step in the house tonight and start those alien interactions, those interactions with aliens, really kind of think about some of these tips. Is there a way you can sort of speak their language? Are you trying to sort of see the world through their eyes? Are you trying to get them to see it through their eyes? Are you picking the wrong battles? Are you battling too much? Are you not using their communication systems? Are you not kind of finding a way to lean into it and enjoy the moments, even though they're sometimes frustrating and overwhelming and you feel lost and confused? This period of time is also going to be gone at some point. And I think, although we're not there yet, I think the next stage is going to be even harder for us as parents because they leave, right?
Yeah.
So
I'm not looking forward to that.
No. So let's lean into and really kind of find a way to enjoy this time.
Right. Yes. Send them a streak on Snapchat. Is that a thing? Did I say that right?
I mean, no. I don't
Do a streak. Send it. Take a picture. Well, I'm going to give up.
I'm going to have you go right to the source on that one.
Okay. Do you have anything else for us, Jenni?
No, just that I'm always interested in dialogue. And if you've listened to our other episodes, you know that this is kind of always what I say at the end is, we don't know everything. So if you have tips on how to sort of survive living with an alien, if you have other ways that you are living with an alien, share it. I would love for our Facebook and for our Instagram pages to become kind of community pages where folks really dialogue and talk about and sort of digest a little bit the podcast episodes.
Yeah.
So
that'd be great.
So someone be brave and start doing that.
Well, there's a lot of great podcasts out there that have a really great and active social media community that go along with the podcast episode.
Yeah.
So I'd love to have that.
The door is open for that sort of, hey, I was listening to your podcast today on raising aliens, and here's another one that you didn't include. Go ahead and share that.
And at some point along this journey, this podcast journey, we'll, be doing lots of more social media interaction and doing some. I think we started doing that already, but doing different polls and postings and asking for feedback, and we'll read your stuff over the air. We started doing that recently. We'll try to do more of that. Also, we really want this to be fun, educational,
Don't say it.
Informative. I'm not going to say it.
Okay.
I know you don't like it. I almost did. But
now we have to say, he was going to say
edutainment.
Yeah.
It is edutainment.
No.
We want it to be accessible, enjoyable, sometimes funny, light, but also informative.
Well, and something that's going to make you think about something from a different sort of perspective.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So little advertisement for you to go out there and rate and review us on iTunes. Even if it's a bad review, that helps us make adjustments, right?
Yep.
The more you do that, the more the bigger audience we get, right?
Yes.
Okay, well, I think that's going to do it.
That is it. Thank you
today.
for listening.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for listening to this one. This is a lot of fun. I love these parenting ones. You can learn more on this by heading to changingperspectivesblog.com and looking up Jenni's blog post, Raising Aliens. Go ahead and check that out. And please go ahead and head to our Facebook page, Changing Perspectives Podcast, and check us out on Instagram at Changing Perspectives Blog. You can visit our website again by going to changingperspectivesblog.com or send us an email to changingpodcast@gmail.com. Please go ahead and subscribe to the show so you never miss an episode, and we will see you next time. Say bye, Everett.
Oh, well, he fell back asleep.
He did fall.
I'll say bye for him. Yep, he's snoring again.
All right, say bye, Jenni.
Bye, Jenni.
Bye.
The Changing Perspectives podcast is produced, recorded, and edited by Dizzybird Studios, Whitman, Massachusetts. Visit Dizzybird Studios on Facebook, facebook.com/DizzyBirdStudios.